Jen, and this is Deacon, and he's a little baby puppy. He's about 4 months old, and so he's doing some boarding up at the main kennel right now, but he's also signed up for a couple training sessions with us down here in the Training and Wellness Center while he's boarding. So the program that he's doing is called Charm School. So a couple things that Deacon is working on are just basics like sit and recall and come, but a big focus of Deacon's training is going to be loose leash walking. So today we're going to just show you a little bit of some of the loose leash walking basics that we use during training. So one of the most important things to remember about loose leash walking is that it's not a natural behavior for dogs. So it's really something that we've got to train and reinforce and practice with them in low distraction environments first before we can expect them to give it to us out in the real world. So distracting, stimulating environment with lots of smells, lots of sounds. Come here, buddy, good. So in order to create a polite loose leash walking behavior, what we have to do is create a deep history of positive reinforcement for staying with us or staying in the position that we want them in. So we've got to build enough of a reinforcement history with that position to compete with all the stuff going on around us. So the way we do that is first by training some basic foundation skills in low distraction environments. So I've never met this dog before. I just met him about a couple minutes ago, and so we're really going to see sort of just a start from scratch training thing here with him. So first thing I do before I start any sort of training session is a little warm up. So I'm going to just run through that really quickly. So the first thing I would do would be to play a little bit of find it. So I'm going to toss a treat out, ask him to find it. That's a little sentence search activity to kind of get him warmed up. So I'm just going to do about 10 seconds of that. Find it. Where'd it go? Come on. Find it. Good boy. Ready? Find it. Good. So this is creating some positive emotional associations for him with working with me. Find it. And being in this space, because this space is also new to him. Find it. And so I wanted to point something out here. So he's got a really nice little default sit. He's obviously been reinforced pretty often for sitting, and so he keeps offering that to me. So that's a really nice little behavior. Default sits are a great thing to set up with your dog. But sometimes what you see with a really heavily reinforced behavior that might be his only heavily reinforced behavior at this point because he's so little, is that that's the one that they tend to fall back on over and over again. So when you're trying to train a new behavior, sometimes with a dog who doesn't have a lot of behaviors in their toolbox, they'll just keep offering you the one that they've been reinforced for the most. So what we can do with Deacon is build some new behaviors that we also create a deep reinforcement history for, so he can offer those to us as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the clicker to Deacon. So I'm going to use the clicker as a marker for behavior. So what that means is I'm going to click during the behavior that I like and then reinforce it. So what the click does is it tells Deacon which behavior is earning reinforcement. But before I can use it as a marker, I need to create some meaning and value for the clicker for him. So I'm going to pair it with treats. So all I'm going to do is just about 5 of these. I'm just going to click, treat, click, treat. So I'm doing that classical conditioning procedure where I'm pairing a sound with a reward. So he doesn't have to be doing anything in particular. I don't know if you saw that, but his little head kind of went, because this sound is starting to have some value for him. Yeah, his little ears twitching. Good. So it's important when you're doing this that there's a slight pause between the click and then the delivery of the reinforcement. So you don't want to be doing 2 things at once. You want to click and then follow up with a treat. So the next thing I'm going to do is a little bit of attention work. So this is where I'm looking for Deacon to offer me some eye contact or attention without me asking for it, and then I'm going to mark and reinforce that. So what happens with that is that will increase the likelihood of him doing that for me again. So I'm just going to, he's really staring at me right now, so I'm going to move around a little bit. I might toss a treat off or let him get distracted, and then I'm going to wait for that head turn back to me and mark and reinforce that. He's working so hard with his little default sit. So I'm gonna crumble a little treat on the floor, let him get distracted, wait for him to look back at me. There it is. Good, so good. Oh, good, so you could see how fast that little head turn was. He just whipped his head back to me. Good, good job. Yes, very good. So I'm waiting until he actually looks up at my face and makes some eye contact with me rather than looking at my treat pouch or my hand. Yes, very good. So he's ready to start working. He's really giving me some nice focus and attention. He's checking in with me. So we're ready for the last step. So the last step of this little warm-up that I'm going to do with Deacon is to build some name recognition for him. So I'm going to say his name one time, and then I'm going to mark and reinforce his response back to me. So the more we reinforce a quick response to their name being called, the more we can use it in distracting environments. We can use it when we're out loose leash walking. We can use it to ask for other behaviors. So I'm going to build that up for him right now. So I'm only going to say his name one time, and I'm going to just kind of wait for him to process it. I'm not going to re-cue too soon if he doesn't respond right away. Deacon. Good. Deacon. Good. Deacon. He's too quick for me. Deacon. Good. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. Deacon. Good. Good job. So now that Deacon is all warmed up and he's giving me some really nice attention and focus, he's responding to his name well, we're ready to start doing some loose leash walking training. So the first step of loose leash walking training is to make sure that you have the right equipment for the dog that you're working with. So with little Deacon here, he's working really well with me, he's not pulling too much, and we happen to be in kind of a lower distraction environment. So I'm probably just going to use his regular collar and this leash. If he were to pull quite a bit, I would then use a management tool like this front clip harness. So the way a front clip harness works is that it fastens under the dog's tummy and then on his chest. So the leash clips right on this center ring. So when the dog pulls, it just kind of gently redirects their motion off to the side and actually changes their gait a little bit so they're not pulling as much. What we would never want to use with a dog who pulls is any sort of aversive equipment. So prong collars, choke chains, shock collars, things like that. What happens when you use aversive equipment is that it tends to create a lot of negative side effects for your dog. So it can create anxiety, fear, it can create negative emotional associations with who's ever walking the dog or things that are out in the environment when they're getting poked by the prong collar or choked with the choke chain, and it's just really unnecessary. So the key to loose leash walking is really teaching and practicing and reinforcing the behavior that you want rather than punishing the behavior that you don't want. Because when you're punishing a dog for pulling, you're not actually teaching them anything, and you can create a lot of other sort of negative effects. So we are not going to use this front clip right now, so I'm just going to toss this out of the way. Yeah, where'd that go? Come here, good boy. So I'm going to start by teaching Deacon where I want him to be. So I would like him to be over here on my left in kind of a more formal heel position. So I'm going to bring him over here. I might use a lure or just my hand. Once he gets to this side, I'm going to mark and reinforce him for being there. I might ask for a sit, or he might just offer it to me because he's got such a nice little default sit. Or I might just mark him in a stand. Come on here, buddy. Good boy. Good. That's nice. So, I'm gonna do that one more time. Come on, buddy. Good. So he's starting to realize that he gets reinforced on my left side. Come on, buddy. Good. That's very good. So I'm just gonna move around with him a little bit. Good job. And I'm gonna keep marking and reinforcing him. So I've been walking around with Deacon a little bit and just really reinforcing him for being on my left side. So another thing that I want to remember to reinforce him for is any of those little foundation skills that we did during the warm-up. So responding to his name, checking in with me, all of that kind of stuff. So he's got such a strong little default sit. He just keeps offering this sit to me. I'm going to work on just creating a couple other little behaviors that I can ask him for that I can reinforce when we're out on a walk. So what I'm going to do with him right now is create a little nose touch, so a target behavior. So I'm going to present my hand just kind of right in front of his little nose. He's going to lean forward and probably bump my hand. I'm going to mark and reinforce that, and then I can use that little targeting behavior out on walks to kind of keep his attention on me if I need it. So I'm just going to present my hand right in front of his little nose. He's probably going to lean forward and bump it, and if he does, I'm going to mark and reinforce that. Oh, so he also offered me a little paw, which I didn't actually want to click, but I did click it. So hopefully I haven't changed those behaviors. I'm going to see if I can just get a nose touch instead of the paw. Good. So he started to give me his paw, but I think I clicked it soon enough that hopefully I can fade that paw and just get a little nose touch. Good. There we go. So once he's given this behavior to me a few times and I feel that it's consistent, then I might go ahead and add a verbal cue to it. So I'm just going to see if I can get it. Oh, right here, baby. Here, baby. Just a couple more times. Good. So I don't want that paw. I'm going to just kind of try to reset him a little bit. Good. So he's still a little bit uncertain about which behavior that I'm asking him for here. Good. There we go. So I'm going to add a cue, a verbal cue to this now because he gave it to me a couple times in a row. Touch. Good. And sometimes when we put a verbal cue onto a behavior that a dog is a little bit uncertain about, it can kind of solidify for them which behavior that I'm asking for. Touch. Good. Very good. So now I've got this little tool in my toolbox of this touch behavior. So when I'm out on a walk, come on, touch. Good. I can use that to kind of refocus him, get him back at my side. Touch. Good. So good. Oh, I dropped one. Touch. Good. So I'm making sure that when I ask him to touch, it's right here in left heel position. So he's still getting reinforced for being exactly where I want him. Come. Touch. Good. Such a good puppy. So a couple other little behaviors that I can add to my toolbox that I can use for loose leash walking. And he's already got this really nice default sit. So I'm going to use this to build a new behavior that I like to call come front. So this is a behavior where you're walking along, dog is at your side. You might see something off in the distance that you don't really want them getting fixated on. So you can ask them to come front, sit in front of you, and offer you some eye contact while you reinforce that. So we're just going to be walking along here. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Yes, good boy. So I'm going to get him moving around with me. I'm going to be reinforcing him for being at my left side, for checking in with me, maybe giving me a little touch. Good. And then I'm going to freeze, and I'm going to kind of use my little hand signal to lure him out in front of me. Good. And then I'm going to mark that sit. So I'm going to do that a couple times, and then I'm going to name the behavior, and I'm going to use a cue called come front. So we're just walking along, reinforcing some nice healing here. And then I'm going to swing back around, and I'm going to get him out in front of me. Good. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and add a cue to this. So we're moving around. Good boy. I'm reinforcing him for being in heel. And then I'm going to do this, but I'm going to pair it with my verbal cue, come front. Good, very good. And do that a couple times. Come front. Very nice. Let's walk. Good boy. That's so good. Good job. Come front. Good, pretty good. So he's sitting a little bit off to my side, but that's okay because we can kind of refine the precision of this behavior as we go. Come front. Very good, good boy. So come front's just kind of another little behavior that you can put in your loose leash walking toolbox. So loose leash walking training can often kind of be a little bit frustrating. Sometimes we get frustrated with our dogs. So it's really important to build this sort of from the bottom up and remember that this is a difficult thing for them. It's not a natural behavior. It's something that we really need to teach them. So always remember to start in a low distraction environment and really build some of these foundation skills before you take your dog out into the real world and expect them to be able to perform. So just keeping in mind all the things that we covered, and hope you have a good walk.